Hi, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mahak, for your kind words, and it's a great pleasure and honor to be here. Again, I'm from Radiance Diagnostics, and right now we are focusing on COVID-19 testing. We provide all sort of testing to the patients. Our main focus has been doing the travel testing, which is very important in preventing another pandemic. And the timing, turnaround time, where people get the results is very, very important and critical. Have we been the COVID testing lab all the time? Or are we funded by some government? And how did this lab idea of COVID-19 testing started? Who are we? Radiance Diagnostics was non-existent a year before, just like COVID-19. And we were Radiance Biosciences, a biomarker discovery company mainly focused on improving fertility outcome for the couple undergoing in vitro fertilization by using a marker which is able to identify good embryos upon transfer, provide successful pregnancy, which will solve or increase the success rate and alleviate the problem of having a baby and family for so many people. With that mind, we started this in 2015. And how did a scientist become an entrepreneur? What skills I had? This talk actually made me think, go back and see where did it all started? How did I get this entrepreneur? Why I wasn't like any other person doing 9 to 5 job, a staff scientist or any industry job. Then I got my answer back. It's not just happened overnight. The entrepreneurship in me was, I think, beginning my childhood. I was born and brought up in a beautiful village near Chennai, near Chennai, a place called Udayendra. That's my village and in Tamil Nadu. Our family was farmers and doing farming related. My summer job has been helping them in the farm, mainly procuring mangoes and others, delivering it to the vendors. And my 8th grade, I started delivering milk to some of my teachers who asked me, hey, who has a farm and who can deliver milk from a cow? You know, the famous thing in the milk in those parts, they mix with water to increase the quantity. They wanted a reliable source. So I was providing them from my 8th grade until my first year college for 5-6 years every day. And then spending time with my family and the freedom and support I got from them and all the people I met over the years, they were actually the inspiration for me. And then coming to my master's, and which I did in molecular biology, and did my PhD in lab medicine, which is a diagnostic division. That's where I got interest in applied medicine. Like there's so many people out there, so much of knowledge in the books, but when it translates to people benefit, there are not many people who can take the knowledge from bench to the bedside. So I developed interest in applied science, and I started working with a lot of small companies. Working with small companies gives you an opportunity to learn A to Z of the operation of the company. I worked for about 10 years for about in 3-4 companies in the Chicago area, and then pretty much knew a lot of people in the fertility industry. That's when I was able to find the problem. Okay, coming back to Radiance Diagnostics. So in March, we had this product and then we wanted to validate and launch as a product that can be used by physician doing infertility treatment. But when the COVID pandemic evolved, many of the facilities were shut down, non-essential research and facilities work were all stopped. And then, which including our Radiance Biosciences. So, but what to do next? Like the couple of options: you take a break or do something. So this is very close to art. I teach microbiology, and I've been involved in infectious diseases and immunology for about, ever since my PhD, which is in 2000, started in 98, finished my PhD in 2005. After that, all of them I was doing is teaching or doing infectious diseases and immunology. Why I cannot do? It's not just the job of a government or some big corporate. Even public were in compliance, following their part, like social distancing, wearing masks. As a scientist and person with experience in, I felt really selfish if I didn't do anything. And then to start something, you need money, right? So my expertise was in developing immunoassays. So when everybody was focusing on testing and it was backlogging, I knew the next step is going to be antibody testing. So I started asking people, raising money. Of course, nobody is obligated to fund you, right? Especially situations like this, they were rolling back and everyone was panicking as they're supposed to. And it was unsuccessful, but that didn't stop. We went on to knocking each and every door. And then we met a gentleman, Dr. Jeff Murley from AUI, whom I met in February. Long story short, so we formed a team of people who all had different type of expertise. Our lab director was willing to direct our lab without any money. And there are some service providers, our website, and then technical person, myself and my wife, Dr. Kaur. She has a specialty in lab medicine as well. So we cut our expense over 60% there itself by knocking down the technical people and other resources. What's left is the reagents and the equipments. So that's again $500,000 cost to put together. And then that's when I tapped into my industry contacts over the time. We started with low-cost antibody lateral flow assay. By the time I gave up on developing our own immunoassays, there were so many people who come up with antibody testing in the market at the time. So instead, we wanted to focus on testing, which is another key element in controlling this pandemic. When bigger labs and they were overburdened, and we should be able to contribute in our own way, however small. So that was our goal. So now that we have a team of people with expertise and don't have expecting any money, we suddenly got into action. Our lab was originally located about 40 miles from our home. We relocated, and then we converted a vacant medical office suite, doctor office suite, into our lab. So we made a reception into a patient service area. That's our lab tour for you on the right side. And then one office into a PCR room. What you see is a couple of real-time RT-PCR machines and the robot that sets up the PCR. Another office into a prep room and sample accessioning room. There are some refrigerators on this side. And then a couple of robots we put in for accessioning and plating the specimens. These are infectious specimens that need to be handled in a contained environment. This room has a biosafety cabinet and the robots are contained. Once the samples are plated and they will be processed here, we converted another room into a sample extraction and prep room. And then one more room into our immunology room, where we do antibody testing with automated analyzers. This is hidden this side. So deep freezer, procuring all this, like it took over 6 months, I would say, more than 6 months. But everything didn't happen in one go, and nor did we pay for all of it at purchase time. So we started with antibody testing in July 1st. I was associated with SCORE, stands for Service Stops of Retired Executive. It's a part of not-for-profit organization organized by DuPage County here in Illinois. It's basically a division of SBA, Small Business Administration. They are all over US. I was taking a lot of business classes with them, in Naperville Public Library hosted a business class, just like a crash course for MBA. So these were retired executives, and they were super nice and super intelligent. And then it was like 12-week course. We started and finished last summer. And then earlier, we got some grant from Feed the Seed for the original infertility project. And the AUI people started looking for funds for our company. So encouraged by all this, we put together this lab and then started with antibody testing. Suddenly, when we started the PCR, the testing supply shortage began. So there were plastic shortage. They couldn't provide reagents. Our testing stopped. Then now what to do? Second bottleneck. By the time we got a little bit popular among the local community, they wanted to get tested. Since we were not enrolled in insurance payment, people have to pay for the testing. That's how we will generate test. So this was reluctantly received by the local community, but eventually was welcomed by everyone. People started paying and to get the testing done. And then that's how we generated initial funding. And then we started paying back some of the equipments. And then what I do is collect the specimens. And then I took up an evening job in one of the COVID-19 testing lab from my former employer, whom I encouraged to start. And then I would process all our sample along with their sample and do next 8-hour shift, try to finish all the results within like 24-hour period for my own patients. I offset any expenses from the pay I was getting from the job I was doing. So we built a reputation slowly by providing the results. And then in December, we added like now 5 different equipments and PCR systems that we have seen in the idea of to overcome the supply chain shortage. If one stops sending supplying kit, we can use from other vendor. We can continue to provide service. This was the whole idea. And also this gives, the strategy was very helpful, providing each equipment can function at different speed. So if someone is interested in getting the results in 5 hours, or 2 hours, 3 hours, we can do so by having this variety of equipments, as opposed to just fixed one process, which takes like evening. And the routine practice of the lab is to start the work in the evening after collecting the specimens in the daytime, and then next day, if anything beyond the capacity, it will sit in the refrigerator until they catch up. But having this variety of equipment with the different capabilities helped us to unburden our testing load. So we were able to give the results pretty fast. So in the process, a lot of things, of course, there were skepticism. Some of the challenges were supply chain, definitely. And then the questions. So I just presented it pretty quick, but going through was nerve-wracking because I am in charge. If anything goes wrong, I'll be responsible for all the money and I may be mislabeled. But when the problem is bigger than you are facing, so I wasn't afraid. So I know it's going to work out some way. So I always envisioned my endpoint. That's my approach. So if I start something, what I want, I'll start visualizing in my mind. This is how my end going to be. So I always think good, so it will be fine. This helped me keep overcoming all this criticism. So even people have asked, like like you are a nice person, a nice scientist. I don't think you have a good skill in business. First of all, I didn't start this to make some quick bucks and get away. It's kind of emotional. I'm a scientist. I'm in it 100%. So when someone comes to my office and then goes out with a peace of mind, that's a success there, as opposed to if I make some money. So that's our mantra. It's so many people have told us after getting tested, like, I slept nice today. They'll call me, and recently one person said they got a visa. So this is like unbelievable. We were able to contribute and help people travel across the globe peacefully. One person who had called us to come test it. Just to give an example, it takes about $40 to take Uber from O'Hare to our office, and then going back another $40. Our test costs only $120. There are labs next to the O'Hare, the hotel. They were sending him, and then somebody from Ghana sent our business card to him. Go there, your job will be done. You will be taken care of. So he came to us. We didn't charge him anything, and then we got the test and we sent him. Unfortunately, the weekend he missed his flight, and then he came back again. We got the report on time. He was sharing his experience. His family got tested a couple of weeks back, and then the people promised them 24 or 48 hours results. They never got. The entire family was stranded in the airport, and then they had to go back. They canceled the trip. So that's the job satisfaction we get by doing this. That was our main goal. So I pretty much was able to overcome all this criticism. And this also gave a lot of message. One is build a relationship. Networking is kind of not for normal success. So if I had not built this relationship, I don't think I would have been able to build what it is. And so, sorry. And I enjoy the process. Again, this is running for 4 years in making. Finally, when I executed it, I was taking pictures on each mile to give an idea. And then the entire journey of this establishing the lab, and would not have been possible without the support of all these people. And I'm grateful for everyone for this effort. And our next step is to continue to do this great work, but to do this today in a better way than yesterday. So it's because all this time, we know more what we knew because of the experiences we had until yesterday. So to make long story short, the take-home message, value each and everyone that you meet on the way around you, and be courteous and build that relationship. And when you see opportunity to do something that's bigger costs, I don't think you should shy away. You just go ahead and you get all the helps you need. Everything is up there. I often think it's like going to an unknown place. We go there confidently now, because knowing that there is a place to stay, hotels, food, restaurants, everything up there. So the same way, like tomorrow, whatever you need is already there. So you just need to go with hope and then confidence. Everything will work out fine as long as our intention is correct. So I've been able to run this lab successfully now. We're done about 1,000 tests and continue to provide more. Yeah, I'll stop here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.